Hey guys! Today I will be doing an educational video for you all. Before you run in horror and click away and scream and fall off your chair, just take a deep breath, it's gonna be okay, and I think you'll actually really like this video. Today I want to talk about planning a kick-ass essay, and basically I want to talk about this because I'm in finals mode. It's real, people. As an English major, I don't take tests for finals necessarily. I mainly just write intense, long, complicated papers. Okay, not that complicated, but I'm getting there. In other words, for the next couple of weeks, I will be deep in outlining, editing, writing, reading mode. Just focused. I also get questions from non-English majors all the time about tips for writing or planning for essays, and it occurred to me that maybe some of you have these questions as well, so video. I'm going to talk about the 3 different ways that I prep myself for writing an essay. The first tip I have might be a little traumatic for those of you who are totally against writing in books, and I can understand if that's the case. Maybe close your eyes or mute it or just look away and come back in, say, 30 seconds. When I read for school, I always read with a pencil in hand. It helps you to actively read if you underline and star things and write comments in the margins. No matter how stupid they are, you're actually thinking harder about what you're reading, and you're automatically thinking more analytically because you're thinking, okay, what is most important? What do I need to underline? This is what a page of my book will ultimately look like by the time I've gotten to writing an essay on it. The pencil on the very top here, that's what I read for myself the very first time. The blue is what I noted from class discussion, and I like to change the color for class notes because generally they're a little bit more developed, so color coding is fun. And then the pink is from a note that I made for myself when I was writing my essay, and I kind of noted the things on the page that I particularly wanted to touch on in my essay. That would be my first tip, is to read carefully and take notes in the reading, because when you go back looking for quotes or looking for things that you want to reference, it's not helpful if you just have a blank page. You're gonna be like, I knew I liked something in here, but where is it? Oh, I didn't write it down, I don't know. Some of my English major friends who are really against writing in books or rent books or use library books do a sticky note system. They do a note on a sticky note and then they stick it on the corner of the page, and their books are like crazy at the end. Personally, that's a little too clunky for me. I just prefer to go ahead and write right in the book. I don't do it in my pleasure books, so it doesn't bother me so much, but now I really can't read for school without writing in it somehow. Since I'm shaking a book around, this is Sightseeing by Ratawat Lapcharoensap. He is a Thai author, and we just read this in my Asian American Lit class, and I just wrote an essay on it, so it's my example book for today. The next tip I have for you guys is to create quote cards. I'm calling them quote cards because, you know, it's a note card and you're writing a quote on it, and I thought it was catchy at the time. It's pretty self-explanatory. You go through the story or the novel that you've been reading and you write down all of the quotes that you think you might possibly want to use in your essay. I like to color code based on source. Again, I like color coding, so this is one story, and because I was writing on multiple, this is another story, and this is yet another. Different colors. Makes it easy to distinguish. I only started using quote cards this semester, and I really wish I had figured this out before, because not only can you write the quote on here, but then on the back you can jot down, you know, the reasons why you chose this quote. For example, analysis points you want to make, background, themes that you can find in this one, or specific language notes. I think this is very helpful because then you have it all there, so when you sit down to write, you don't actually have to think about what you're going to write, you just have to articulate. If you're not a fan of note cards or don't have any, you can also just make quote sheets, because that's what I was doing last semester, and actually earlier this semester too, where you basically do the same thing. I just find this to be a little less organized and, you know, less easy to move around. A lot of students like to outline their essays beforehand, so they'll do your introduction and then your thesis and then your topic sentence for your first paragraph and then your quote, and then your topic sentence for your second paragraph and then your quote. Personally, for me, that's a little too linear. My brain doesn't really work that way. Instead, I tend to do brain dumps, where I just kind of, again, take a pad of paper and just kind of jot down all of the different ideas that I have and then start pairing quotes with them and maybe see if I can find a theme in that. An outline may be helpful if you are a more disorganized person and you need to see it very specifically laid out for you. I didn't articulate that well either. So those were my tips for planning a kick-ass essay, and I don't plan to go into writing in a future video or anything because everybody has their own style of writing, and for me, I tend to do prep work beforehand and then end up doing most of the writing the night before. But I hope that this helped get you to the point where you can write and that you feel a little bit more prepared, and hopefully this will help some of you in your own finals weeks. Alright, I hope you're all having a great day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!